Today's video, we're going to be zooming out for a second and giving you all the options on what you can do when you're building your crypto DeFi portfolio. There are so many ways to do this, which on one hand can create anxiety. Let me know if you felt that. Like, what do I do? There's so many things you can do. And the other is it can actually fill you with inspiration when you understand all the different plays or all the different cards or all the different tools you have. So we're going to start really simply here. You've got DeFi positions. I don't care if this is a Sol USDC, if it's an ETH USDC on VFET that's doing 180% right now, if it's a BTC USDC position on Uniswap doing 80% right now, wild, or whatever you're into. Maybe you've got 3 positions, maybe you've got 8, maybe you've got 20. What can you really do with those positions? Well, there's really only 2 things you can do with the fees you're earning. You can harvest them or claim them or, collect them, or you could compound them back in. Now, personally, I'm typically not a fan of compounding back in. That's not to say you can't or you shouldn't, especially earlier on in your journey. You may be trying to grow your bag. But typically, I like to diversify out of. So if I'm in an ETH USDC pool and I got one pool, this is an ETH USDC pool, I would rather harvest it and then choose what I want to do with it next. Now, that will depend on what the markets are doing. It will depend on if we think there's going to be a pullback. I'm definitely going to harvest it and maybe put it to stables and lend it. We'll get into that next. But compounding it back in, what I don't like about that is you haven't necessarily locked in the profits. I like to lock in profits and then choose what I want to do with those profits. Not saying that you can't compound. I'm in a BTC USDC position right now, and I am compounding Bitcoin back in because that's just my play on that pool. Whereas I have other positions where I'm harvesting every day and lending it. I have other positions where I'm harvesting it and opening new positions. And I have other positions where I'm taking it and I'm buying more, BTC and ETH for my bull run bag. So it just depends. You don't have to just follow one of these strategies too, which is awesome. Let me know in the comments if you're following along. By the way, I should have mentioned this at the start of this video, is we are going to start doing some giveaways again, and those are generated from the comments that are left under the YouTube video. So if you leave a comment, you get automatically entered into this giveaway. It's typically going to be stablecoin or some crypto we're going to be giving away every week, but I'm thinking about spicing up those giveaways and finding creative ways to give some awesome stuff away that's crypto DeFi investing related. So if you want in on the giveaways, all you have to do is leave a comment below and you'll be automatically entered. Let's keep going here. So let's say you harvest, you claim. What can you do with it? Well, you could spend it. We have a client in Fast Track who one of their positions they have in their portfolio is just for spending. And so they collect yield on that every single week. They put it onto their crypto kind of credit debit card and they go spend it in the real world. They go pay bills for it, book vacations, hotels, whatever. So you can do that. And I think that's a legitimate thing to do. What's the point of taking all the risk if you never actually spend it? I'm looking at another car. I want crypto and DeFi to pay for that car. Is it an investment? Well, not a financial investment, but it is an emotional, mental, spiritual investment to me because I love cars. Next thing you can do is you can lend it. I'm a big fan of this. So you can take those yields, you can lend them, you could be earning some yield on that. Now we're talking yield on yield, and every time the market pulls back, you can redeploy that aggressively because you've got capital sitting on the sidelines. You could open new positions. So you could literally just open a 4th position, 5th position, 6th position with the yield that you're earning. You could buy bull run bag assets with it. So I have one position that I have open that I claim every week and I buy more bull run bag. Now I'm kind of sitting in alts and like kind of mid cap stuff because I'm really trying to stack my bags for the bull run. Which, by the way, if you haven't seen the video I released 2 or 3 days ago regarding the bull run and the elections and the cycles, do check it out. I'll leave it somewhere in the corner of the screen here. Worth checking out. Open it in a new tab, save it, and watch it when this video is over. Now, most of this is rinse and repeat. So open new positions, we open a new position, and it's rinse and repeat. Buy bull run bags with it. We want to ladder out. So we want to take profits at some point of these assets that we're buying. But for the lending, there's a few options that can happen. Let's say you're in it. This is where it gets really juicy. Let's say you're in a ETH USDC position, like I am, and it's making you 180%. And you've got X amount of dollars in it, and you get X amount of ETH or USDC, or in Aerodrome's instance, maybe you're getting Aero, you're converting that to whatever assets you want. But the point is, you could take that. You could say, hey, I'm really long-term bullish on ETH. You could lock that up or basically lend it in, let's just say, Aave. Then you could take a collateralized loan against it in the form of stablecoin. And then you could even open up more positions. Now you're getting the best of both worlds in a bullish scenario, of course, which I believe long term here, like zoomed out 3, 6, 12 months, we're in a very bullish season here. Now you've got ETH locked up. So you're basically locked up your ETH long-term holdings there. You take a loan against it, let's say at a 50% LTV, but you take a loan against it, then you go use that stable coin. Yeah, you're paying 6, 7, 8% for that loan, but you don't really care because you know ETH is rising in value and you're using this stable coin to open more positions to make more income, and you can use that income to tend to the LTV in case ETH goes down a little bit, yet you're still long-term bullish on. So from the lending, you could create collateral, so you could use it as collateral. You could just collect the income from it. I've got this dream of having $1 million lent out over the blockchain, and I would collect all that yield as personal income because it would basically cover my living expenses. And then, of course, remember, don't look beyond the fact that you could invest in other things. Like every time you claim it, or every time you claim your lending or whatever it is you're doing, you could invest in other things as well. So you could diversify outside of crypto and DeFi, which is a big vision of something we've been building apart from the UIGs. We really want to build a fund where people who make a ton of money in crypto can actually invest in a fund for more steady income, get a quarterly check, and diversify the risk outside of crypto and DeFi. I really hope that helps in some way, shape, or form. There's some more nuanced things that you can do, or some more like risky things you could do for sure. And we could talk about leverage, and we could talk about shorting, and we do have some videos about that stuff. But fundamentally, this is kind of like the playing field. This is the stuff you can do. And when you understand this, you may not feel so constrained to like just one tactic or strategy. You might say, hey, these 2, 3 positions are going to fund my lifestyle. These 2, I'm claiming and lending them so when the market's correct. These 2, they're steady earners, and I'm going to convert them to blue chips I want to hold for my bull run bag. And then I want to put that bull run bag up as collateral and take a loan against that and do some low risk, maybe stablecoin yield farming for 32% if you take leverage on XRFi, or 18% on like dollar USDC if you don't. You get the point. Or maybe you choose to like do blue chip yield farming on like BTCs and ETHs, and Sol USDC has been a steady earner. You know, we're very bullish on Sol. By the way, I will leave a link to a Sol video that Gordon and I did. Gordon is awesome, by the way. If you haven't had a chance to connect with him inside the UIG or Fast Track, do so. Check out that video with Gordon. Actually, you know what? I'm just going to leave all these videos on the screen. I think we're pretty good to wrap it up here. Like this video if you liked it. Subscribe to the channel if you haven't. I think it's like 30% of our YouTube audience subscribes to the channel. So let's level that up. This channel doesn't grow without you. And leave a comment in the comments below if something landed for you. You'll also be automatically entered into our giveaways we're going to hold every single week on Mondays. So with that said, I'm going to leave the 4 videos on the 4 corners of your screen. We'll talk about Gordon and Sol. We'll talk about leveraged yield farming, hedging, shorting, all that fun stuff. So do study these videos. It's going to be worth your time. And with that said, I'm going to get out of here. Peace.